So today it is Foundation Friday. It is 25 degrees out in Seattle right now. Got iced coffee, great choices. If you're new here, Foundation Friday is where I do a new first impression video every single Friday on my channel. I have an entire Foundation Friday and 15 days of foundation playlist down below. So if you want to check out more foundation reviews, they are always linked down below in the description box. Before we jump into the foundation, I know the audio is not the best right now. You guys had a lot to say about it in the 2016 favorites video, but I'm glad you're liking the lighting and everything. This is a new space. This is only the second video I'm filming in here. And the space is pretty big and there is an echo, so I am working on soundproofing the room, getting a different mic, or getting like a, what's it called, the fluffy thing to put around the mic. That is coming. I needed to film this video today. So we're dealing with the same mic that I was last time, but just know I'm working on it. Bear with me while I figure out the sound and everything. It's a new space, so there's gonna be some things to work out. So today I was actually planning on filming the new NYX Drop Foundation, but I ordered that a week and a half ago when it first came out online, and I still have not received it. It just shipped yesterday. So that will probably be next week's Foundation Friday, but don't worry, I have an entire basket of foundations over there still to review. People always ask what I'm gonna do when I run out of foundations to review. I don't think that's possible, people. So one of you guys actually commented on a video saying to check out this foundation and that it was like totally underrated and you hadn't heard anything about it on YouTube. So that is what I did. This is the Face Atelier, I think it's Atelier, Ultra Foundation Pro. And this is a professional makeup artist line. I have a ton of sample sizes of different shades and everything that I'm gonna show you guys. Since they do offer samples on there for $1, you can get these little sample cups for $1 on the Face Atelier website. I didn't wanna commit to a full bottle, just didn't make sense. But the actual bottle looks like this. It's pretty tiny. You only get 0.68 fluid ounces of product in it, and it retails for $35. No, $36. So it looks like it comes in 12 shades as far as actual like pre-mixed shades. But the neat thing about this is that since it is a professional line, you have white mixers, you have products to add warmth to it if you have deeper skin tone. They have a darkener shade, and then there's also a yellow shade if you need to make your foundation a little bit more yellow toned. You can pretty much mix your own shade and customize it however you need to. So including all of those shades, there are 17 total shades in this product. I ended up getting the shades 1 and 2 just to see which one would work best. So I'm gonna swatch all of these, do some mixing, see what happens. So I'll insert that right now. Okay, so these are all of the sample sizes that I got. So right here's the shade 1, which almost is a exact match for me. Right here is the shade 2. Next over is Heat. This is the shade Blaze, which is obviously a yellow mixer. This is the shade 0++, which you could use to darken your foundation if you have a deeper skin tone. And then this is 0-, which is obviously a white mixer to lighten your foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix the shade 1 right here with this yellow mixer so you can see how it works. The key with mixing is adding a tiny bit and just add in really small increments until you get the shade that you want. So here's a little bit of 1. Now I'm gonna take a tiny dab of yellow, literally that much, and go ahead and mix it in. So as you can see on my skin tone, that's obviously too yellow, but for someone who has yellow undertones in their skin, this could be a lifesaver. So now I'm gonna try the shade 0- with 0++ and mix this a little bit and just see. I'm just kind of curious. I kind of feel like we're in painting class right now. This deep shade is very pigmented, so you just need a tiny bit. Whoa, got some gray. Okay, so this is a good experiment. Let's try and warm it up by adding some of that warmth in. Let's try a little bit of Blaze. This actually just totally spilled all over my carpet, so awesome. As you can see, that just totally took away the grayish tone. I'm adding a bit more warmth just to see. Ooh, look at that. So the idea is that you can just play around with it, get your perfect shade, undertone, and everything, which is amazing. Once you play around with it, you'll get an idea of how much you need to mix of each color to match you exactly. So I've talked a lot about white mixers on my channel, mixing in white products with your foundation to lighten it. I am gonna have like a white mixer showdown kind of thing coming. This takes a long time to try out all of them thoroughly before I make a whole video on it. And I do have probably 15 to 20 different white mixers at this point, but that is coming. Let me know down below if you're excited for that. But I know the problem also exists on the other end of the spectrum, where if you have a deeper skin tone, a lot of the times I've heard that it can be just as difficult, if not more difficult, to find foundations that match your skin tone as well. So I think it's great that they have the 0++ shade to darken your foundation. Foundation lighteners and darkeners in the professional world are not a new concept, but for brands in Sephora and drugstores and everything, these haven't totally hit the market yet. In the last few years, there has been a major improvement in foundation lighteners. For example, the NYX White Mixer, I think it's only a matter of time before more kind of mainstream brands come out with lighteners and darkeners. So looking on the Face Atelier website, let's read some of the claims. All right, there's actually a lot of info on this, so get ready. So it says it's an innovative approach to foundation that allows you to be in control. It's highly pigmented, long-lasting, innovative foundation that provides buildable coverage with the natural satin finish. It is a silicone-based foundation. It says it's sheer enough for younger women, yet can meet the needs of anyone that requires more coverage. Do young women not need coverage? I'm confused. It's an outstanding performer on mature, troubled, or sensitive skin. I do have very acne-prone skin. I have combination skin. I get pretty oily throughout the day on my T-zone. It forms a delicate, lightweight, and flexible second skin with natural breathing ability. No primer needed. It says the primer is built into the foundation because of its silicone-based formula, and it sets without a powder. So this sounds like a freaking miracle product right now, if you ask me. Moisture, heat, and sebum resistant. I think Jack in the Box might win the Mocha Award. Their ice mochas are so bomb. That is all the claims on this foundation. If you guys like Foundation Friday and you're excited to watch this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You can always let me know down below if you have any other kind of not talked about foundations you want reviewed. Let me know down below. So if you want to see how the Face Atelier Ultra Foundation Pro, I don't know why I can't remember that name, applies somewhere to start the day, you're in the right place. Just keep watching. So this foundation actually says that since it has silicone in it, you do not need a primer. So we're not using a primer today, folks. I think we're gonna start out with the shade 1 and see how this is. So if you don't wanna buy the mixer as well, you can see if 1 will be light enough for you. I realize I need to get backups of my favorite foundation brushes to have here. So today I'm using the Morphe Y7. I might use this one, or I might use the E54 since I don't have my normal foundation brushes here. And then on the other side of my face, like usually I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. Oh, that looks pretty good, okay. I'm just gonna pour some of this out on the back of my palette. And this is supposed to be very pigmented, so I'm gonna start out with just about a dime, a large dime. I think I'm gonna try this brush. Yeah, let's try this brush. Hopefully the white balance is okay right now. I can't tell. The monitor is a little bit off, so I'm trying to like guesstimate basically. Right now it is 9:20 in the morning, by the way. So I'm just gonna stipple like I normally do onto my brush and then on my face. Ooh. I'm getting good coverage and shade. I think that looks pretty dang good. So that amount covered half of my face really well. I don't think I got totally full coverage. The one layer looks about medium coverage with the brush. Super pretty dewy finish. So I'm gonna try about the same amount on the other side with the sponge. Okay, somehow got a lot of foundation on the tip of the sponge. I would say it applies pretty much identical with the brush and the sponge. This one was a little bit just quicker and easier to blend out to me, but both of them are looking really nice. I am pulling this down my neck, but looking at my chest, I think this is a really good match. Yeah, one layer I would say solid medium coverage. It's looking really nice on my skin. It's literally just kind of melted into my skin. Doesn't look foundation-y at all. This is supposed to be buildable, so let's go in and see if I can get more coverage out of this. I kind of like the sponge better, so I think I'm just going to use the sponge for a second layer on both sides. Oh, heck yeah. Really hoping this doesn't break me out because right now I'm liking the way this looks. Yeah, this is building really nicely. There are still a couple areas where it looks like some acne is peeking through, so it didn't totally cover everything. But with 2 layers, I would say this is pretty close to full coverage. So on their website, it says it sets without powder, preserving the youthful dewy finish, and has soft focus properties that diminish the look of fine lines and wrinkles. So you do not have to set this with the powder, so we are not gonna set it with the powder today. It's not settling in anywhere. It looks really good around my nose right now, and on my dry patches on my forehead, you literally can't even see them. So right now it is 9:28. I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back. All right, so it is now 10 o'clock. I think clasping this freaking necklace took me longer than doing the rest of my makeup. So the foundation set, I would say in about 15 minutes. It actually took a while to set before I felt like I could blend bronzer and everything on top, but once it did, everything blended out totally fine. The only thing I'm noticing right now is that I must have been scrunching my face when I was doing my mascara or something, because I have a line right here where the foundation kind of wrinkled. So I'm just gonna go in with my sponge and see if we can sponge that out. So that worked, hoping it's not gonna settle around my nose or anything where I usually get creasing. So on the rest of my face, to bronze, I use the Maybelline Fit Me powder in 310 Sun Beige. This is quite warm, but it works. For blush, I use the Essence Mosaic Blush, and all you need is pink. Highlight is the LA Girl Strobe Light Strobing powder in 120 watt, and this is pretty intense. It looks good on camera, but in real life it's a little bit glittery and it kind of like emphasizes your texture. Eyeshadow, I'm totally just pleasantly surprised by. This is the Pur Trolls palette. This is brand new by Pur Cosmetics, and this I was not expecting to like as much as I do. These blended out really nicely. They're super pigmented. I love the warm tones in here. They also have a good mix of cool tone shades, and I feel like the browns that they put in here can go either way. So excited to keep playing around with this. The gold is like super pretty wet kind of gold. I actually used a different mascara. I know. This is the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. Mine was like totally dried out. What else? Lips. Milani Sweetie. I think this is one of their new shades of the Amore Matte lip creams. A little bit pinkier than I was expecting, and then I topped it with the Wet n Wild Color Icon lip gloss in the shade Jackie a la Mode. So like I said, we're calling the check-in time at 9:30 since that's when I finished up my foundation, and I didn't set this with the powder like I said. I did use my setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter setting spray. I think I'm gonna be working here for a few hours, so the next check-in I do will probably still be here. The sun is literally about to be right in my face in a few seconds, so hopefully I can film this intro. We'll check back with you guys in a few hours. All right, so it is now 3:05, so the foundation's been on for 5.5 hours. Still here, but I'm sitting right in front of the window right now, so this is all natural lighting. Right now, I think it's looking good. I'm this shiny in the center of my face right now. I'm hoping I'm not gonna look super oily by the end of the night, but this is without a powder. And it's starting to look a little bit heavy around my nose area, but not bad. When I was on the computer, I noticed that I really can't feel anything on my face right now. Like when I touch it, you can feel it still feels like a foundation when you touch it, but it doesn't feel like you're wearing a heavy foundation. It really does feel breathable, like they say. So here's up close so you can see, I think it just sits really nicely on the skin. Looks really nice and smooth still. I do have a little bit of shine on my forehead. It doesn't look super, super oily right now, but I like that my texture doesn't look emphasized. It doesn't seem to be majorly settling into any lines yet. My upper lip a little bit, but nothing horrible. Right now, I'm still liking it, no major complaints. I will check back in with you guys at the end of the night. Huge truck. All right, so it is 8:25. So the foundation's been on for almost exactly 11 hours. This is the long check-in. Where's my mirror? So I do look oily, but keeping in mind that I didn't set this with the powder, it has broken down a bit around my nose and forehead, but I've definitely seen worse after 11 hours. I actually noticed it first starting to kind of break down a little bit around my nose when I left the office around 4:30. When that happened, I was kind of expecting this to just majorly go downhill, but it hasn't gotten a whole lot worse since then. I looked in a couple different lighting situations and I think it's oxidized about a shade. I also see new breakouts popping up, so I'm really hoping it's not from this foundation. But I'm turning down the lights and getting really up close, so hopefully you guys can see. I don't know if you can see. So it's breaking down a little bit right here on my forehead, and then around my nose there, hopefully you can see. And I am very shiny. I think if I set this with the powder, I'd probably be good right now. So next time I wear this, I'll be mixing in a little bit of the white mixer, and then I'll also set it with the powder. I usually update you guys on Snapchat when I do kind of foundation updates, or if I've done it by the time this video goes up, I'll put it in the description box. But pros to this one for me, I really like the finish the first probably 6 or 7 hours. I don't think it got too oily until about that point. It feels really lightweight. I don't really feel like I have anything on my face. It looks like skin. Kind of helps to just like smooth out your texture. If you have super textured skin, you might like this. It settled a little bit into some lines. So if you have mature skin, I think this might be one that you'll just have to try out for yourself. Dry skin, I think this would be great for. Oily skin, you'll probably have to set it with a really good mattifying powder. Overall, I like it. I'm excited to play around with it more. Since the white shade is the same formula as the foundation that I'm wearing right now, I'm really excited to mix that in with other products because I do really like the formula of this and just the coverage and everything. I love that you can make this whatever you want it to be shade-wise, and I do think coverage-wise, if I used a smaller amount, you could get lighter coverage. I did 2 full-on layers and I did get it to pretty good coverage, but if you're someone who likes lighter coverage, I think you could also easily get a lighter coverage with this. So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, make sure you give it a thumbs up so I know. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.